Welcome to beautiful Ilfracombe. This is an incredible part of the world where 100,000 tourists or more come every single season. But behind the picture postcard of this beautiful part of the world is a real poverty. The local community knows real hardship as a result of high unemployment and lots of seasonal work, as a result of all kinds of social issues. This is a community that's got some pretty major challenges. Hi, my name is Carl Smethurst and I'm the Regional Minister for Mission for the South West Baptist Association. The churches together in Ilfracombe work really well, and it's a privilege to serve the Baptist Church in Ilfracombe, who for years have been in this community meeting the needs of those people here. It's great to be able to share some stories about what the church is doing at this point in time and its hopes and its dreams for the future, being involved in God's mission forwards from this point.
Hi, I'm Chris and I'm currently one of the deacons here at Ilfracombe Baptist Church. I'd like to share with you a little bit about what goes on at what we call Open Church, which is happening here this morning behind me. Just this morning I've been chatting with somebody who they've been coming into Open Church off and on since 2005, and this person said to me that they don't think they would have been here speaking with me this morning if it hadn't been for Open Church. And that really sort of got me, because that's what it's about in many ways, is being that place for people to come and feel safe. We don't have the abilities, the energy, the manpower to go out into the community, to reach the people out there. We're only open the one morning in the week. We wish we could be open more. And to have somebody come in who will be able to do that, to go out and be out there in the community, where those people are, where they're living, where their everyday lives are. Somebody who can connect with that will just be amazing.
So we've just heard some great stories about what the guys are doing with Open Church, with those in the local community that are isolated, many of whom also have mental health challenges. But there are other issues in Ilfracombe, particularly the nighttime economy, which is especially vibrant at the weekends, causes some real problems in the local community. And the churches have engaged with that in different ways for many years. Most recently, and most notably, the churches have opened up their doors on Saturday evenings for night church. It'd be great if Keith could tell you some stories about what Ilfracombe Baptist Church have done to engage with those that are coming out the pubs on Saturday evening, that just need a place to go and a community to be a part of, and how God's Spirit has been at work as they've been serving those people at the weekends.
Hi, I'm Keith. I'm from the Baptist Church in Ilfracombe. I'm the church secretary and I've been here a number of years. One gentleman came in, he said he didn't know why he came in, but he knew he had to come in. He came into the church here, he listened to what was being sung and prayed for, he asked for prayer, and when he went out he says, I don't know why I've been here, but I knew I had to. And we thought that was quite an amazing thing, that God had brought someone in who needed to be in the church that night. This night church, we feel, needs to develop, obviously, because God's work needs to go on. Our vision in one respect is that we need to be out there on the town more than in the church itself. Although the church will be open for people to come in just as it is now, but our vision is to be able to get out there, and this is another reason why we're seeking a missioner to help us to develop that.
Me and my partner Jake, we were moved up here last year in October time. We were victims of modern day slavery with cross-county lines with drugs. But ever since we moved here, we've always gone to the church, always had on a Wednesday, on a Saturday night. You know, they're just brilliant. They can stay a bit longer sometimes when they don't have to, but they will because they want to help. They've helped me with clothes, food, you know, everything. You know, it's just, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't with them guys, you know. I'd probably be dead if it wasn't for them.
age doesn't mean anything in some respect in God's work. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can still work for the Lord in what He calls you to do. So I would encourage other churches to get involved. You know, don't say, "Oh, I'm too old now." You know, you can pray. We have 90 people in the 90s praying for the work of Night Church, and you can have the same in your churches.
So Chris, here we are outside the Ilfracombe Academy. I'd love you to tell us a little bit about the history of this place and the local churches.
Right, well, over the last, must be about 40 years, the churches have been praying a lot over this school, because 40 years ago it was more or less closed to anything to do with church, and people from various churches would get together and pray, and over the years things started to move. And in the last 3 years, this school has now become a church academy, and amazing things are happening in there.
That's incredible. That's about the only school in the southwest that's chosen to become a church academy. So tell us a little bit then about what local Christians are doing in the academy now.
Well, a chaplaincy scheme has been set up, so each year group in the school, and it goes through to sixth form, has got a chaplain from local clergy in Ilfracombe and other, a bit wider than Ilfracombe, because the catchment area does spread out a bit wider. So that's happening. There's one-on-one mentoring going on, and there's a prayer room. It's small, but there is a prayer room in the school, and that is manned every lunchtime by either somebody from the chaplaincy team or a member of staff, and the kids can go in there, and there are resources and things set up in there for them to interact with.
Brilliant, which I believe is specifically what Ilfracombe Baptist Church are responsible for in the school.
One of the biggest privileges of serving as General Secretary is being able to see what God's doing right across Baptist Together. A few years ago I heard a little bit about Ilfracombe Baptist Church from our South West regional team. Here was a church that was facing some challenges and yet was still in faith seeking to engage with their local community. During October half term in 2017, we had a family holiday in North Devon, and one day we found ourselves visiting Ilfracombe. Walking around the town again, I was reminded of some of the challenges and deprivation that our seaside towns experience. And this reminded me of the church's story. So I said to my family, let's go and find the church, because that's the sort of thing we do on holiday, I'm afraid. And we went and found it, and we prayed for them outside the church. Standing outside, I was struck by their brilliant location right in the middle of the high street. Now, I knew the very real challenges that this church faced, but I had this real sense, surely God has not finished with them yet. And so there, on the steps, I prayed for them. And later on, I contacted Carl Smethurst from the regional team again to share with him and to see what God might do in and through that church. In the spring of 2018, I was planning to take a sabbatical. I had the idea of spending a week walking the southwest coastal path with my eldest daughter, Isabel, who was about to go to university. In the end, we walked from Linton to Westward Ho, and as we walked, we prayed. We used the Northumbria Daily Office, and we also prayed for the churches and the communities along our route. When we could see Wales, which in fairness was quite often, we also prayed for Wales as well. We arranged to stop overnight in Ilfracombe at the Ocean Backpackers Hostel and to meet with the church while we were there. It was so good to meet with them and to share food together. We also spent time worshipping and praying together as they gave us a taster of their night cafe church. It was such a privilege, and it was such a good evening of prayer and listening and encouraging each other. Now, I know that the story is nowhere near finished yet, but I'm so encouraged to hear what God is doing and the new possibilities that are emerging. In June this year, I was privileged to be preaching down at Combe Martin, which is very close to Ilfracombe, and so I was able to return to Ilfracombe, and Isabel came with me. So she and I went back to Ilfracombe Baptist Church and sat on their steps again and prayed for them. I still firmly believe that God has not finished with this church yet, and I'm looking forward in faith to seeing a new and fruitful season unfold.
So it's been really good to hear stories about how the guys from Ilfracombe Baptist Church have been involved in the mission of God in the town through Open Church and through Night Church and also through the Academy. There might only be 18 members of Ilfracombe Baptist Church and their average age is probably in its late 70s. But these are people who are passionate about Jesus, passionate about the gospel and passionate about making that known to the people of this community. Our desire is to be able to call someone for an absolute minimum of the next 5 years, to explore what God is doing in this particular community. And we could really do with your prayers. Will you pray that God will stir the heart of the person who He's calling to be part of His mission in this place? It might be someone watching this video, and if it is you, I'd love to speak with you. But please also pray for God's provision to be made known. We're stepping out in faith, believing that this is God's vision and He'll provide. But as yet, well, we haven't got a place for the new missioner to live in, but God will provide that. The church is putting some money into it, but not enough. So we're going to put a home mission grant into this particular venture as well. And so please continue to give to the Home Mission Fund. When you do, it's to support the mission of God in places like this. Thank you so much for listening to this story. My prayer is that as you reflect on it, you also will seek God for how He's leading you in your place. We simply cannot do this on our own. God calls us to be part of a family, for us, a Baptist family. So as we partner together for the gospel, let's be committed to Jesus, but to each other in working to see His kingdom come and His will be done here as it is in heaven.